Hi Sagittarius, welcome back. We're here to do your March reading. Those of you who are new, a very warm welcome, and those of you returning, thank you for returning. Now this month we're doing this read very intuitively. I am a psychic medium and I do tend to cover the astrology and the moon transits as well as twin flame path. I'm going to be doing this video polar opposite than I usually do. We're going to get straight into the romance energy. Now, this is for coupled or single. It's the energy of the person you're directly tuning into, as well as at the heart of the matter what potentially can be going on. And then we'll look at the external houses of the unseen, your work, your finances, etc. At the beginning of this month, I am feeling you guys are quite up in your mind's eye. Now, when it comes to thinking how you're going to deal with some of these belief systems, again, there still is the residue energy of the new moon we had in February with the Pisces frequency coming through. Some of those things still may be playing out, that of what occurred last month at the end of the month. Moving forward, we are going to be having the Virgo moon, and it is a full moon. So again, the peaking of your energy, of the clarity, especially with your belief systems, you know, in the shades of grey and the black and white, it can be very black and white, matter-of-fact mindset, where you're wanting to see the devil in the detail, and it can also be some epiphany moments of the devil in the detail when it comes to romance and how you are looking at this situation. In the past tense position, I'm feeling you guys were looking at things, and there's going to be some information that comes in that's going to give you a little bit more clarity. Now, this can be in relation to the way you've been viewing relationships. It can also be in the way that you had perceived something. I'm hearing that you guys are understanding more the importance of team, and it's like you sort of maybe pulled in two different directions. Currently in your own life, regardless of the position of relationship in your life, it potentially can be, Sagittarius, that you're, you know, being called upon and having some past times that you're wanting to deal with, and this can be more hobbies, entertainment, socialization. It's also tribe orientation themes coming through. You may find a lot of subject matters around these areas can come through, and maybe you've outgrown certain ways of doing things. I'm also hearing that you could be called upon from a family member. This could even be in a romance house, but there is a subject matter that's going to come up, and it's during this process I'm seeing you to be very, you're present, but you're in two realms. It's like you're in the 5D, you're in the 3D, because it's actually giving you a spiritual upgrade for some direct reason. It's almost like you're observing something, but what you're thinking about at the same time is very different, and it's resolve. I'm hearing the term resolve. A resolve of a situation, a finalization of a situation, an epiphany moment. And it's seeing the truth of a situation, seeing through the realm. It's almost the realm is thin. I'm saying that there could be something that was hidden from you, or even your belief system based on a subject matter. I'm feeling like there's information coming in and it was false, either on a mindset or something that you had viewed at one point in time with a group of individuals. You're going to be able to see through the frequency of people. It's like I'm seeing X-ray vision, so it's feeling like you will be able to intuitively sense whether a person's telling the truth, what their body language is explaining to you, but it's also telling you something about yourself, and you're putting pieces of that puzzle together. I'm hearing the term, we don't talk about it, but we know. And that can be with any number of individuals, or it could be with a particular individual in mind. I'm finding that the sharpness of your mind is going to be very important, but I don't feel you reacting. Like, if you're going to, it's more going to be from the perspective of speaking your truth than anything other to the contrary. I'm also being shown that there could be a subject matter around an immaturity. It could be also a lot of inner child work going on. I'm going to pull a chakra card, like inner child work. Somebody in a family member, I do feel, has not been telling you the honest truth. And again, this doesn't have to be linking with romance. It could be the external energies around you. For some of you it might be, but it feels more external. There is a conversational piece coming up. I'm also feeling when it does come to inner child energy, again, you're not talking about it. It's really, like I said, it's like you've got X-ray vision this month. Whatever you're sensing and seeing occurring around you, it's like you're ready to make a decision based on what the blockage is actually going to liberate you, but you're taking the mature approach. There can be a child-related dynamic that comes up this month that you actually have to interact with to balance out. But there's also a maturity within your chakra system that you're having a purge of a belief system. I do feel that there is a subject matter coming up where you potentially might have felt that major movement in certain areas hasn't occurred from last month, and there was potentially something that you wanted to get started around that time. You do have a lot of, this has been coming up quite a bit. There are a lot of people, whoever you feel you can't trust, you really need to go into your intuition with that. Like I said, you've got a sharp mind, right? There's a sharp mind here. You know who these energies are. I do feel there's a lot of jealousy surrounding this relationship, regardless of where the relationship stands. There is also, for some of you, there may be children involved in this scenario, but there is a lot of jealousy. I do feel you're taking the detached approach. Even if you're with the person at the moment, it's a huge time for meditation over conversation. I do feel you're trying to, some people are mincing their words. You're assessing the dynamic. You're also assessing the weight of the responsibility of how to tackle this scenario. I feel you're looking at the tunnel vision of the energy and the necessity for these things to change. The external environment, the environment you could be upgrading right now, what you're wishing to manifest in. It's like potentially this could have been a subject matter in your life that you've been trying to fine-tune and master. And this is very separate to romance. In your own life, the subject matters that have come up have really tested your patience. But you're on the threshold of moving into a major manifesting cycle. You know, it depends on if you're looking at it from the perspective of glass half full, glass half empty. I do feel by mid-month you guys are going to be looking at things and it's like it's moved. You're going through a process and it stops. There's going to be a pause, and I feel this is near the Aries moon. The Aries moon will link in very similar to where we were with Venus, but it's very direct, but it's also where our wounds reside, because we have Aries and Chiron for 8 years. 7 links very closely into Saturn, but it's also cycles that we go through. There is a cycle that potentially you're moving into. We have moved into a new decade. There has been a lag into the year. It's been more on a spiritual level, maybe a verbal level, where we have communicated things that we're wanting to change. It's been quietened to the point it potentially can come up in very fire-orientated energy. At the moment, there's a delay in that, but I do feel the potential of movement in that format. I feel you're trying to remove certain people from your circle that you feel you just can't trust. But it's also building a healthier relationship with your intuition and how you tackle these areas in your life. And I do feel you're wanting to manifest a happier life. So it's like there's going to be a pause. In order for this new energy to come in, I do feel the Aries new moon is going to activate this. There is an energy coming through where something, yeah, I'm hearing out with the old, in with the new. They're trying to tell me something else. It's okay, one minute. You guys are feeling stuck. You say, I heard him, don't throw the baby out with the baby water. It's really unique what I heard, and I was like, okay, what's this? You don't want to lose everything. You have worked so hard for what you've achieved. The frequency of what's coming through, it's like you're not willing to give up. You're wanting to get the balance, and it's really frustrating you. Some of the control feels out of your control. It feels like it's taken on a life of its own, and you're being an observer at the steering wheel, but there's nothing potentially you feel energetically in a solution you can do. You're being very cautious and very protective of the people you love, but you're also being you're pulled in two directions. You're pulled in a direction of protection. You potentially could even have an area where you're trying to be two energies, and it's like you're balancing out the yin and yang, and you're trying to be two people in some format. You might find you get deeply motivated to move towards subject matters in a very fierce, kind of Leo-like manner with power. And then it retracts and it goes back to the 3D notion of things, and you're looking at it and you're slowing down and knowing that there are some obstacles in the way. You're being very cautious to not cause imbalances here. The energy of Jupiter, though, is governed by you, and I'm really guided to look at this card, and it's like, you know, the bow and arrow up to the sky, focusing on your dreams and wanting to have all of these things happen, but kind of scared to take that leap of faith, really. That's what I'm getting from the energy coming through. Whatever hasn't ended in a sense of, you know, the start button being pushed, even if it's physically just your mind that's rolling over these energies, or the 3D nature of what's transpiring, I just feel this constant energy of needing to jump through hoops, but feeling really like you're not getting anywhere. It is going to come to an end, okay? That energy is going to come to an end. The judgment might be out of your hands, and that's been problematic. Some of you might be also looking at your career, and I do hear career, and I do hear love, family. But more connecting with the people, places, and things that resonate with you. And what that's going to mean, and it's, if this hasn't come yet, I am feeling for some of you, I'm hearing the term a goodbye party. This could be happening within the next 3 months. I'm not feeling this energy right away. Some of you, yes, it is happening right now. There is a shift happening in your life. You're moving from one way of life to the other, or one tear to the other. But it's a transformation nevertheless. It's something that has been theoretically, it's been these things where they've been imbalanced, where you've had to be quite strong, where you've had to deal with adversity and challenges and people's egos. It's coming to a close and starting a new chapter. So your life might all of a sudden feel very foreign, but you're going to be able to pull everything together. And I feel at the end of the month, for many of you, I do feel there's a potential there's going to be a life upheaval, and this life upheaval is going to change the dynamic of love. Look, let me explain this from a spiritual point of view. Especially when we're moving through blocks, we can feel the energy of anticipation. We feel the energy inside our chakra system. It can feel very heavy. When it's really heavy, 90% of the time, we're thinking if we dive deep into that energy or walk through that adversity, what is that going to mean on the other side? If it looks that ugly and it feels that disgusting inside ourselves, what then would occur after that fact? Would it in fact equal the same? No. It actually ends up being as heavy as it is, as beautiful as it ends up being, but during the process we have an egoic purge. So we're fearing the transformation because we have this belief that if we hold on, if we steer the car, that's why I was really seeing you at the steering wheel and it was like hands aren't on the steering wheel, it sort of feels like it's being taken over. That is very much Saturn retrograde direct, taking over, where it's divinely guiding us to get life back in balance, to get life back where it needs to be. There can potentially be a very detached approach you take this month where there are two themes playing out in your life, but you're going to have to ride that surfboard. It might not look perfect, but what is going to come, a balancing is going to come in this situation, and it is going to require bravery of mind without the ego and detachment to allow all the things of the puzzle to come together. But I do feel a deep transformative thing. You won't see the value in it right away. After the fact, I'm seeing you're going to benefit from this. It is going to make complete sense. Now I'm going to look at your partnered energy side. You know, their intention is to bring everything together. They've got this on their mind. This is your love interest. This is also a person you could be attracting into your life. Their mindset is relationship. Their mindset is love. They're also in the same mind. When this upheaval is coming in your life, there is going to be movement, and this is your energy. Upheaval. The vibration you get, feeling that something wasn't built, you know, on a firm foundation. There's going to be a shake-up. So potentially you might have been sorting things out in the month of February and trying to work through those things to get the balance, and it's like starting from scratch. So some things are shifting around. With this false start and the change, it's sort of changed the course of your direction. It's also been the energy where you've been looking at things and trying to create a balance in your life, a routine in your life. You're being patient with this. Both of you are taking on this energy. You're trying to focus in one area and they're focusing on a vibration internal. You're observing things externally. You can sense this person's energy. Whatever you're putting on the face, now it's like, it is a mask, but it's not in terms of you hiding anything. It's a mask of, I keep seeing Leo the Lion. It's like a mask, putting on the bravery, but at the same time, deep down internally, you feel very similar to them. And you know, both of you are wanting to achieve major things in your life, and it can be even within the relationship. It's really unique. It's interesting because we do have the nodes changing this month, and the two themes that are playing out at the heart of it, you're wanting relationship to start flowing. But when I'm looking at each individual energy, when it does come to this direct relationship, you're both completely mirroring each other. Very telepathic energy here. Both of you, your energy is almost being taken into employment. I don't know why this is so very important. It may be making you feel quite disconnected, but it's not that there's a disconnection. It's that there is an upgrade happening in work, but you're doing the full 360. Now, either or energy can swap, but I am feeling one energy within this connection is feeling deeply afraid. There is, because this upheaval is actually causing a trigger within their vibration. But this is to start the new energy, and I do feel it's when Juno is going direct, but I feel a fresh start in general is what's coming about. This is an old energy coming back to the table for this relationship to move forward. Some of you might be looking at your home environment and feeling you need to change something. The change within it, there's a change. It's like, it can be due to financial, it can be due to upgrades, it can be just the vibration itself, you're wanting to energize that, but there's deep change around home. There can be contracts as well and planning in this area. This is to help moving forward. Yeah, your partner energy is deeply conflicted at the moment. Okay, let's tune in a bit further. Sagittarius, you guys are trying to be very decisive. You're also, I'm hearing it's not over till the fat lady sings you. You don't want to give up on a subject matter. You want to fine tune it. I'm getting an interesting energy here. Okay. I'm going to pull a card on each side for those of you that are stuck and not in a happy environment. Now, this could be relating to anything, but some of you it may be a relationship. Yeah. There is a test of faith here. Now, those of you who feel you're in a very beautiful relationship, this is an upgrade of your energy where the focus is going to be going back into yourself and then directly into the connection. For others of you, if you've known for a very long time that you have not been happy, it's coming up in both of your lives where you're going to be looking at it. Now, your partner energy, Sagittarius, this is you. This is the energy that you're tuning into. There is an upgrade, both of you on your sides of the fence, where you're looking at this. Some of you might have known for a very long time, but it hasn't been spoken. Others of you, the conditioning connected to what partnerships means is coming back into focus where you can look at it and you can actually smooth it out. And, you know, sometimes we do look at relationships and they're too paradigmed. You know, they're too, okay, hunter-gatherer, you get my gist. You know, you do this and I do that, and that's what a relationship is. It's really fine-tuning it and finding your unique way of being. I do feel there could also be, for those of you who have not been happy in this connection, this is going to come up into subject this month. But if you really are, I feel it to be positive as well. So there's both sides of the coin here. Those of you who feel in alignment and you feel there's been so much adversity around you, you're creating a lot of healthy boundaries and you're really shifting the energy onto each other. But I do feel a decision you make based on a house may change, because there is home energy coming through here. Okay, you're trying to be really rational when it comes to your money, the way you're investing, your finances, and the energies you give to relationships. But there is an energy from the past that you aren't let going of, and it is to do with spiritual upgrade. You know, potentially not feeling you can trust the process, trying to get the steering wheel, but your hands are being removed. Your family at the moment, you know, it's the value of that. It's either you deeply feel they have a lot of needs and expectations on you, or you're pouring a lot of energy and love into that because you see the direct value. Your health overall, you're going to be making a judgment on it. And again, this can be at an emotional level. Some of you are looking at this, and I did pick that at the beginning of the read. There was an energy of maybe somebody being a little bit unwell or run down. Both swords, crowning energy. having to look at things, okay? Having to have a sharp mind, paying attention to signs. Now, your health and your environment, this can also be where you're seeing someone else is unwell, and therefore it directly is impacting you because you're concerned and you're worried about them. But some of you might be making a judgment or waiting on a judgment and results. Others of you, I feel it's you're making, again, balance and healthy diet, a change in that area, but it is feeling like you're making the judgment to create balance. Some of you, it has been, the give and take has been out of balance. It might have been you've been working a little bit too hard and you try to rein that energy in. I don't feel anything disastrous. I feel more it's just an observation and you're getting things into balance of where they need to be. Okay. My guides are showing me in the unseen position there is a subject matter that you've been tuning into for a while and you already have the information. This is where you've been assessing it, okay? This can be people, assessing people's antics, ways, disposition, what your belief systems are as well. I'm hearing, Sagittarius. You're gauging into things. Some of you, this is an energy where you have been watching them and you have reached a conclusion and you're going to actually have a discussion. Whatever this discussion is, it's going to be quite profound. There potentially could be discussions of money also. Yeah, a big change in life. It's some plans you're making. I do feel like I'm seeing two people sitting at a table having a conversation about where to go to from here and what that's going to look like. But it's almost a life mapping, but I feel this is going to be at a very personal level first, and then it will transform into a very 3D conversational piece, but it's not going to happen right away. So the unseen, definitely, with the way you see your life going, you're trying to fine tune everything so that you can move forward. You're very fatigued. Let me pull 3 cards. There's something coming through here. I don't feel anyone should try and cross you this month. I do feel you'll be quite sharp with them. Yeah, you'll be quite sharp. There are some areas in your life you have been very patient with, and that patience can come to a head. You're very protective. I do feel these delayed feelings are coming up in a big way, and I do feel it's by the Aries moon. People don't want to be messing with you around that time, because it's got to that excessive point, and I do feel you'll be deeply protective of the things you are connected to. This can be directly towards a partner, but I'm feeling it's more protective of a partner, a love interest. What way to go, where you're going from here. Like I said, there's 2 stories coming through here. One in which it will be a very direct conversation with a romantic partner and you're saying, look, enough is enough. Others of you, it's creating healthy boundaries and removing people that have been messing with this relationship, even if it's just in an opinion sense. I'm hearing enough is enough. It's like, stop, this has to stop. And I do feel you're shifting your energy onto what you want. You guys do need to pay attention to the way you're traveling this month. Just really pace yourself. Get to a place where you listen to your intuition and ground yourself. But I do feel you're underestimating yourself, because I do feel there's some lovely energies coming through. Let's see. Yeah. It's interesting. Making a judgment, foundation in reverse. reverse. Get your base chakra aligned. Physical health in reverse. It's the changes that are affecting it. So if you've been delaying making a decision, I feel you're really guided to actually sit back, tune into it, ask the reasons why, and how long you could stay in that vibration, and if it would directly affect your health. And obviously you can seek support if that is so. Also, when it does come to family and tribe, for those of you that have children, you've got solar plexus in reverse. You can look at those things and address them head on. If it's been subject matters you haven't discussed, with people, it might be something that comes to the forefront and you can balance that energy out. There's been delays, okay, and they do feel in 3 major areas of your life, with the creativity, potentially with the finances and the stability, and that could be from childhood energy all the way through to where you are now, and with the energy of communicating that with feeling comfortable with it. So if you do balance the lower chakras, I do feel this will support you through this moon transit. It is very grounded energy, but it's very practical. So it's looking over fine print this month. It's looking at the direct reality versus how you feel about it. And with the nodes changing, you're going to have your 7th house and your 1st house activated. So what you're moving towards is the new version of yourself, and how you can transform into that and show that to the world. And it doesn't happen right away. It can feel very unique. But because we do have Capricorn in Sagittarius, the way you're growing is going to be deeply responsible. And this has even come up in your side. It's like really making good choices and choosing what you want to build, moving into that real demeanor of who you are, which is a happy, vibrant person. You're very happy-go-lucky in your own zodiac sign. It's only when things become imbalanced that frequency comes through, where our ego is telling us we're this and that. And again, that does come through from potentially last month's energy. Those could have been themes that were playing out for you. I do feel moving forward though it's balancing, but the best thing to do is to meditate upon it, and then to actually make a decision and move into the energy and deal with it accordingly. But you must discern between what feels correct for you. But I do feel overall, once you can move through this energy, your road is a highway. It's all clear. Love and light, and I'll see you during the month.